Welcome to our 5 on 5, a bit of a unique one tonight. We're pleased to be joined today by US Congressman Peter DeFazio, representing Oregon's 4th District. He's joining us from our sister station, KLSR in Eugene. Thank you, Congressman, for taking time to speak with us today.
I appreciate having the opportunity, Kristen.
For some of our viewers, it seems the only headline out of Washington lately is the impeachment inquiry proceedings. Is anything getting done on the people's business, especially when it comes to wildfire-related monies, health care costs, etc.?
Well, I'll address a few things. Wildfire, good news is in this next fiscal year, we're going to stop so-called fire borrowing. That is robbing the Forest Service and the BLM from all their other program activities, whether it's recreation, forest management, to pay for firefighting. A law we passed a couple of years ago kicked into effect on October 1st. From now on, when fires get past the budget point given by Congress to BLM and Forest Service, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, like for other disasters, will be responsible. In terms of healthcare costs, my understanding is we're going to be moving bills on prescription drug pricing, allowing government negotiation, just like we do with veterans, where we get much lower prices, just like every other industrial nation on earth does with the pharmaceutical industry. We're their profit center. It's time for that to end. I've also just reintroduced my bill to say that any drug developed with federal research, and almost all the new drugs are, must be reasonably priced. So we are making some progress there. Unfortunately, most of these things dead end in the Senate with Mitch McConnell. My committee has already moved a Coast Guard authorization. I've moved out of my committee harbor maintenance monies to finally spend the harbor maintenance tax on needed harbor maintenance, tremendously benefit Oregon and other states. I'm working on a surface transportation bill, pipeline safety bill. We can chew gum and walk at the same time. Other committees are working on other substantive issues of concern to the American people.
Now back to that impeachment inquiry. How will you take part, Congressman, if there is an impeachment hearing?
There's 3 committees of jurisdiction. I'm not on any of those committees, but I'm working on an issue that is important. And the court ruling today by the appeals court could help my committee. It said that Trump's financial records should be available to Congress for legitimate legislative purposes. I've been trying to find out whether the president is violating the emoluments clause with his lease of the Trump Hotel, and also the terms of the lease, which says no elected officials shall benefit. Government Services has a secret legal opinion they won't show me, saying he's not benefiting, and they won't provide any financial documents. I'm hopeful with that appeals court ruling today that we can finally move forward with the investigation in my committee.
We've got much more to talk about, but we are going to take a quick break, Congressman. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the 5 on 5. We are pleased to be joined once again with Congressman Peter DeFazio from our sister station, KLSR in Eugene. Congressman, thanks again for being here with us.
Thanks.
The climate has also been a hot button topic in Washington and around the world. You've called it a crisis. How do you balance the action you take to protect the environment with your constituents' needs?
Well, I don't think it's hard to balance the things I'm pursuing in my committee. That is, a lot of my communities need help rebuilding their wastewater systems. I'm going to do the first authorization of federal assistance to communities in years, but I'm also going to require they capture their methane and generate their own electricity. That will help with climate change. On the Surface Transportation Subcommittee, I'm working to electrify, provide right now, if you want to buy an electric car, if you can afford one, hopefully the price will come down. The charging stations are few and far in between. We need to electrify the national highway system so we can move away from fossil fuels. We need to build in resilience here for earthquakes and for other climate events here and around the country as we rebuild our infrastructure. And then the federal government's the largest lessor of buildings or owner of buildings, commercial buildings in the United States. I'm going to have them move to a standard where those buildings are carbon neutral. There's a lot of exciting things going on, and it's actually going to help the American taxpayers and help the American people, at least from the perspective of my committee, in implementing aspects of the Green New Deal.
Not long ago, you voiced some concern of, quote, questionable actions with Secretary of the Interior David Bernhardt regarding the Jordan Cove pipeline project. Have you received any feedback or a resolving of your concerns?
Secretary Bernhardt worked for a lobby firm which is lobbying for Jordan Cove. He didn't recuse himself, which he should have, according to Trump's drain the swamp stuff. And secondly, he met with some county commissioners and said he was totally on board with the project, like he'd already made a decision. That's very improper. He's supposed to be a neutral decision maker, and we've asked the IG of the Interior Department to investigate him.
The decision to pull out of Syria being condemned on both sides of the aisle. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham said, quote, "Every military person told the president not to do it for fear of Turkey attacking our allies." Do you agree with the decision to leave Syria?
Absolutely not. He has abandoned the Kurds to be slaughtered by the Turks after one phone call with the dictator of Turkey. But then also last week, when people raised concerns, Trump said, oh, well, I'll destroy their economy if they attack the Kurds. Well, they're attacking the Kurds. I'm not aware that he has moved to do anything to sanction the Turks. I was just on a phone call with the chairman of Foreign Relations. We're going to move a bill next week in the House to sanction Turkey and condemn these actions.
Thank you so much, Congressman DeFazio. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.